Okay, so I, for one, am working on keeping to my word. In the last video, I mentioned that I'm trying to be more positive and excited about games and talk about the things I like as opposed to the stuff that I don't. So, I want to talk about Cyberpunk 2077, specifically first person. First person in video games is often reserved for horror games and shooters, and not reserved for, I should say, but that's the thing that most people play that is first person. Horror games and shooters or something like that. Generally, first person lends itself to immersion, but it can be very tricky to do, and that's something that, as I've been playing through Cyberpunk 2077 again, a game which I bounced off of a bit when I first played it, but I really like that game. It's quite special. And something that I think really makes it very, very special is its excellent use of first person camera work. I think that one of the biggest struggles that first person games have is that they are not inherently cinematic. One of the great things about having a third person game is that you're able to take advantage of that camera and do a lot of fun things with it. You can move it around and have it do all sorts of crazy things, but when you are in first person, you're limited to the perspective of the player, of the character. So, you can only ever really see what they are seeing in the way that they're seeing it. So it makes it tricky to, pull off perhaps some more cinematic sequences. So what I was very impressed by, and what I've been continually impressed by playing Cyberpunk, is what CD Projekt Red was able to do to make you feel really, really, really there. I've played a lot of games, obviously, and there's a lot of them that struggle to take full advantage of the first-person camera, the first-person POV. And Cyberpunk really is one of the first games that I've played that really kind of milks it for all that it's worth, as it were. There's a sequence near the beginning, mild spoilers, not really, when you have a deal with a guy named Maelstrom, and you're trying to get this device from him through like a deal. You're like the middleman trying to get this device. And man, do they make excellent use of the first-person camera in that sequence. You sit down on this couch, and this guy comes in, and he starts threatening you, and he puts a gun like right up in your face, and he like leaning in. It helps that he's incredibly striking looking and kind of freaky with his crazy cybernetic eyeball face removal thing, but he gets right up in your face, and that's not the only instance in the game that does it. There's so many instances where characters will get real close to you, or get right up in your business, or stuff will happen right in front of you. And obviously, that's not like original. Like lots of games do that, but I think that it's this perfect combination of the incredible animation quality and the great art direction and animation and character direction and storytelling that really come together to make this awesome experience. There's stuff that I'm just astounded by. There was a sequence when I went to go and I sat down at a bar, and in the game, and I was talking to this one person, and I looked over to the left, and just like kind of out of the corner of my vision, there's someone sitting there, and when I make a comment to this bartender that I'm talking to, that person over there reacts to it. They just kind of look over and they raise their eyebrow. I was like, that more than anything transported me instantly to the game, and I was so impressed by that. Like those little tiny things, people will meet you in the eyes. They'll look you right in the eye when they're talking to you. They look right right in your eyes. You walk past NPCs on the street, and it's funny because I think that Cyberpunk does have an emptiness problem sometimes. Like there's something to be said about how the city actually feels a little odd and uncanny sometimes. I think, at least, especially like the NPCs, they'll spawn in these strange clumps from time to time, and I don't know, it's a little unusual. But what I will say is that walking past an NPC in first person and then seeing them sort of like give you a look as you walk past them, they actually look at you, and they're not doing the vacant stare of that so many NPCs have in games, where it feels like they're looking through. It looks like they're really looking at you and kind of sizing you up, and it's like it does so much on a moment to moment basis to really just pull you into the experience. And I was just so impressed, and I'm continually impressed, and that's something I'm going to be paying kind of special attention to as I push through this playthrough, and it's made me wonder about other first person games that. Oh, excuse me, it's nap time. It makes me wonder about other first person games that take proper advantage of the fact that they're telling a story in first person. That is Charles. So anyway, I just was so impressed by that, and it was just cool. There's a bunch of cool interactable elements obviously in that game too. They do a good job of making it so that when you are in first person, you're not bored when you're having conversations. You can move around, which I feel like my brain goes to. I can hear Charles growling down there. I think we just had mail delivered. But in Skyrim, when you're like talking to someone, you get stuck, just staring at them. And again, I'm not trying to complain too much. Skyrim is something that I talk about a lot. It's a little bit of a low-hanging fruit for me, but the animations are not exactly the most inspiring, and the slow camera movement that you can do when you're talking to someone in Skyrim, you just go, and you can like kind of push it really, really slowly when it reaches the edge. It's not exciting. Not that I think that every game needs to have a mini game while you're having a conversation, but I do think it adds a lot to cyberpunk that you are allowed to kind of just like walk around while you're having a conversation. It makes the world feel makes you feel a lot more present in the space, and the fact that they account for that is really impressive too. So anyway, just some thoughts that I've had of late when it comes to first-person games. I've been playing a lot of first-person games. I mean, that's like half of the games that are out there, at least. I would say probably more than half are first-person games. And it's just, I don't know, it's just cool. It's just got me thinking about like how third person games have the benefit of being able to show more, right? To show more around you, to show your character movement, to show a lot more, to sort of immerse you in the world. But first person games have the benefit to immerse you in the self, and I think that's kind of the takeaway here, and I think that's kind of the coolest part of it. And again, something that Cyberpunk does very well. So there's a lot of other games that do a really good job of taking advantage of that. Not like a ton are springing to mind right now, just because I'm rather sleepy. And I just kind of wanted to sit down and ramble about how cool this game is. So anyway, yeah, that's it. I'm going to go take a nap. Bye-bye.